Yeah, coordinate. Your ability to coordinate, to keep mathematically perfected economy out of the picture so you can control this. And what is he asking you to do with no shareholders, he says, paragraph 2 down, to satisfy? TAMS is able to distribute all profits to its members and provide benefits that no other system can provide. Bull. What benefit can it provide, especially if it's advocating spending money into circulation, which is the invalidated proposition of the video money as debt that this very person has advocated? You know, I'm sorry. He doesn't even know what he's doing. And he's advocating that this is a necessary step, something that we should stop at and do instead of going to mathematically perfected economy. Is there some principle that this proposition could that serves us, that this proposition can more easily achieve and is a more reasonable thing to go for? Well, absolutely not. It doesn't even declare one that we could know such a thing and argue it or defend it. What is that? So we'd hope to have this fellow, interviewed, that he could provide his defense of this proposition, but unfortunately, that couldn't be arranged for in time for the show. So I'm forced to provide a very rudimentary, invalidation of this whole idea. It's not a lawful bank. This person advocates spending money into circulation. That denies us credit obligations or debt, which is the only way to finance production and consumption, which we cannot afford immediately to pay for. This is why credit and credit alone can sustain all of the prosperity that we are capable of. And likewise, we've already demonstrated why the only vehicle for solving all of the issues is a promissory obligation. So that's that, you see. Now, there was another site or there was another proposition that was brought to my attention a few weeks ago, and in truth, this was an extremely offensive, purported attempt to promote, it was said, mathematically perfected economy. Now, there was a meeting held in a small audience. Likewise, I would assume, probably no more than 30 or 40 people. And so this person whose program is generally on UFOs purported to present, monetary issues and prospective solutions to this small audience. And of course, these videos are likewise on the internet, on YouTube, and on this person's site. Well, this fellow goes on in his presentation as if he is the original analyst who uncovered the issues that he speaks extremely amateurishly about. And I'm going to simplify this very much, but basically what it came down to is he calls the problem the debt-based con, or something to this effect. In other words, he's wrongly, as money is debt, makes the same really blatant error. He's wrongly attributing our issues, terminal indebtedness, to the fact that money is a debt. It isn't. Debt itself, you see, is inert, and as we have shown many times already, of course, there is no offense whatsoever if the debt is principal. To pay $100,000 for a $100,000 home is still to pay for the home, and no more than the home for the home. There is no offense in debt itself. Debt is inert. Its multiplication of a falsified debt to the banking system into terminal indebtedness, which we suffer if we merely maintain a vital circulation, which is the issue. So the very title of his videos is an offense against understanding the issues sufficiently that we, the people, can deal with them, that we can understand what is a solution in absolute terms. Very simple arithmetic is all that's involved in this. So this person this purported authority hasn't even done the very simple second grade math, by which we understand that indeed there is one and one only solution to inflation, deflation, maldisposition, systemic manipulation of the cost or value of money or property, and inherent, irreversible, and therefore terminal multiplication of artificial, falsified indebtedness by this obfuscation of the currency. That's all you have to know, right there. The math, well, if you haven't done it, then and you don't even understand what was just said to you, you might make the blatant error of saying, oh, the problem is that the money is debt. The problem isn't that the money is debt. In fact, if money can't be an obligation, which equates to debt, to pay for principal without exploitation, then we cannot afford to put a newlywed couple in a $100,000 home with a 100-year lifespan at a cost of $83.33 a month, which consumption of the property they can readily afford. We can't do that because we're instead, if money can't be a debt, if we can't have debt, we simply force those same people to save from a circulation which represents only something else, far less than all the houses we might build as well, to save from that circulation, which is needed to sustain other production so much as would sustain further production. It's preposterous. This idea. There's no benefit whatsoever, and there is no penalty or offense or injustice in paying the principal for the related property as we consume of it. No offense whatsoever. You see? So to deny us credit or debt, as these people are advocating, is preposterous. It's hugely limiting to the prosperity that we can sustain if we restore our right to issue promissory obligations, which again are the only vehicle for monetizing production without any monetary problems whatsoever, because every unit of the circulation must have an obligation to pay it out of circulation. And of course, we rightly associate those costs with the consumer, which is mathematically perfected economy. In the end, it's simply an eradication of exploitation, and it is the monetary equivalent of barter, with this additional advantage that credit, and credit alone, allows us to consume, to pay for our consumption of production as we consume of it, instead of all at once, long before we consume of it, which is far more expensive and far more preclusive to taking title of the related property, of course. So in this preposterous presentation, it comes down in the end to a ridiculous issue where this purported authority, who is selling his videos from his web pages and purportedly has a huge audience, he's selling this. He's doing this. He's pretending to be authority for profit. Okay, and so he turns to one of these other panel members, one of whom was very nasty to me over all my challenges of this. and attempted to actually to even promote this and in conflict with my own efforts. He turns to one of the panelists, this UFOologist, uh, who's now suddenly a monetary reform and authority, turns to one of the other panelists and asks this panelist, what do you think about interest? And this person goes on saying, well, it's ingrained in our society that we basically couldn't do that, and he gives a number of 7 years. Well, I'm sorry, but you couldn't have done but the least research of my work and discovered, that I show exactly how to do it in not only in a day, but within minutes. Convert a system of exploitation into an interest-free economy with no improprieties whatsoever, a mathematically perfected economy. So what is being claimed as an argument against eradicating interest is simply that the people are accustomed to it somehow. Now, this actually absorbs a substantial portion of this preposterous pretended presentation, where this UFOologist is promoting. He says he's promoting mathematically perfected economy for his own profit. You see, and isn't even able to present the case against interest, which is fundamental to understanding the problem. Instead, likewise, he's advocating that money can't be a debt. So this is where all this work, this pretended authority that's rising up at the 11th hour, is taking us. Backward, 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 in circles, in circles, in circles, never getting at the fact of singular cause of failure and singular solution. One problem, one solution. Thanks again for listening. It's an honor to be heard regarding the most vital matters of our time.
Too many generations leave belonging to the young, but we'll stand triumphant when redemption is done. So won't you help to sing these songs of freedom? 'Cause